You need to know what is good for you, what works for you as a person, as a woman. So you only decide if you want to be a full-time housewife or not. You can have discussion with your partner, but then before you go into a conclusion, you need to understand your person, if it's going to work for you or not. You need to understand who you are, what makes you. And if you're going to be a full-time housewife, is it going to affect you mentally, physically, spiritually? Is it going to affect the home? And because being a full-time housewife is not just about you again. You know, it also has to do with people around you, your family. Who is going to benefit from you being a full-time housewife? And who's going to suffer if you're a full-time housewife? Before you decide to embark on a journey of being a full-time housewife, you need to weigh so many things. The second thing you also need to weigh is this: your partner. Does your partner agree with it? Does your partner like it? It's not every partner that's even suggesting it. No. You know, different coins to different problems. It's not every partner that suggests, I want you to be a full-time housewife. There are women out there who want to be a full-time housewife. Not because they are lazy. No. Because when we talk about being a woman, a married woman, even before you start having children, you know, it comes with its own task. Now, when you start having children, the task doubles. Now, imagine you go to work every day. You still come home to those duties. You still come home to do those activities. You don't escape them. They are there waiting for you. So before you make a decision, if I want to be a full-time housewife, you need to weigh a lot of things. Okay. Now, when we talk about being a full-time housewife as well, people see it in different ways. But then there's something that is common in all the different ways people have seen it. I've heard from different people. I've looked at different opinions and views. And in all these opinions and views, something is common. And that a full-time housewife is somebody who does not contribute to any finance to the family. And that is contributing anything to the workload in the society. A full-time housewife does not go to work, does not have a 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 or 9 to 2. A full-time housewife also have different names they call them. I'm going to go into that in a minute. You know, but they have different, they don't, what I'm saying, something unique about them is that they don't go to work. All their work is at home. Now we have people who work at home, who are being paid to work at, so maybe they work from the laptop on the phone, you know, and they're able to also look after their family and be a mother and a wife and all that. That's not what I'm talking about. That's another level of being a full-time housewife. When we talk about a full-time housewife, it's somebody who's not bringing in any income. That is what a lot of people believe to be a full-time housewife. And that is what we've grown to know, even from our parents, from our forefathers and mothers. They don't go to work. It's the daddies that go to work and then bring money in. But then things are changing. Life is changing. So as a full-time housewife, there are challenges that come with it. That's why I said two things that is very important before you decide, number one, or before you agree to be a full-time housewife is know yourself. Know what is going to work for you or not. And then understand your partner. Well, I'm going to break that down a bit more. For instance, I'm somebody who cannot I can't stay at home for long. That is knowing me. I get bored easily. I want to do something. I want to be busy. Even at home, my husband is like, can you just ignore that and sit down and rest? You know, that's knowing yourself. I can't sit down. Thank you for joining, Emu. God bless you. It's wonderful to have you on board. Do you want to mute yourself so that it does not interfere? Thank you. You know, as a full-time housewife, I can't do that. That is me. I can't just sit down and not do anything. Even when I'm not working for 2 days, I'm feeling useless. I'm feeling something is wrong with me. Why just sitting? Why just lying down? Can't you work? That is me. And there are so many women out there who can't just stay at home. Not because there's anything special they're looking for, but it's in their system. It's in, that's them. They're introverts. They like to contribute to the society, and they like to make money. They like to work. Okay. So if you are such a woman and you be asked to be a full-time housewife by your partner, you need to weigh it very well. Because before you know it, you're going to get bored. Number one, you're going to be frustrated. You're not going to be happy. Depression can set in, and you can start taking it out even on your children and your family. You might end up even nagging your husband and nagging everybody. So know what works for you. Now, if for any reason, based probably because you want to spend more quality time with your children, when we talk about you wanting to work, it's not because your husband does not have enough. That's another level. Your husband might have money, enough money to look after you, enough money, to pay all the bills and do more. But still, you are that person who still wants to go out there. Even if it's 4 hours a day or 2 hours a day, you feel better about yourself. You feel like an achiever. You don't feel useless about yourself. So that's why I said it's important for you to know yourself before you agree to be a full-time housewife. I've seen a lady who is so happy. About being a full-time housewife. She glories in it. Now that's her knowing herself. She enjoys it. She's happy that she can spend time with her family, clean the house, cook, and has extra time for herself. And in those extra time she has for herself, she's able to develop herself, do one course here, do the other course there, do programs. Even she now has extra time, she's able to have a channel on YouTube, and she does stuff. She's happy. She's happy with it. So understanding yourself, very important. And before I continue, I'm going to read a comment from my mother here, El Better Ministry, who says, unlike running errands under tight deadlines at a workplace, being a housewife brings its perks of freedom. You can work according to your own schedules while focusing on your health and well-being at the same time, but only if your husband can afford it though, which is one of the things I'm saying, knowing yourself, understanding yourself and your partner. So let me go to what mommy said. If your husband can afford it, I'm going to take it from there. If your husband can afford it, why not enjoy it? Housework is no joke. The work we do at home, the days I don't go to work, I do more at home than if I'm working. And I'm like, I've even spent over 12 hours working. Who is paying me for these hours? But if I was at work, I would have accumulated a certain amount of money. So being a full-time housewife is a lot of work. Cooking, which even if you go to work, you still come home and do those things anyway. But if you're able to be a full-time housewife and you enjoy it, do not condemn yourself. You are not lazy. No. Enjoy it. But in as much, because of the society we are today, don't just be a full-time housewife at the same time not doing nothing. Still do something. Be active in some areas of your life. Either you want to be going to the gym, there has to be something you do to keep you fit, to keep you mentally sane. You need to know what's happening in the news. You don't want to be relegated. You don't want to feel useless. You don't want your spot in a society to be erased. Even though you're not contributing financially, but you also need to know what is happening. You also need to know what's happening so that you even have a gist to, a good conversation, healthy conversation you're going to be having with your partner. Mommy Alberta says, definition of a housewife, also known as a homemaker. Thank you, ma. Some even call it a professional. Oh, there's this word I forgot now. Homemaker. Some call it home managers. It's a lot of work. It's a woman whose work is running or managing a family's home, caring for the children,
running or managing family's home, caring for the children,
buying, cooking, and storing food for the family.
Buying, cooking, and storing.
Mr. Betty, thanks for joining. Can you mute your volume, please? Thank you. If anybody wants to contribute to it, please let me know. Then I will give you time to speak. And then I'm still reading from Mommy Albert. Says, storing food for the family, buying and or mending clothes for the family, and who is not employed outside the home. Thank you, ma. And another one is, some husbands even go as far as paying their wives money monthly for being a full-time housewife. As much as something seems good, they usually have a negative side too. Below are the advantages and disadvantages in a minute. Before we go to disadvantage, I'm going to read that in a minute. Thank you very much, ma. That is beautiful. I'm going to read from my sister Emu here. And she said, this is a very important topic. I beg to differ though. Being a full-time housewife does not always mean you have to do all the chores at home. Are you a full-time housewife because you to take care of the chores at home? That's a big question. But then, whether you're a full-time housewife or not, you still do the chores anyway. I'm going to allow you to speak. I'm going to give you the floor to speak. But the typing is not going to be good enough. Emo, you want to unmute yourself? Emo, do you want to unmute yourself? While we wait for Emo to come on, I'm going to continue. Is she ready? No. While I wait for Emo, I'm going to continue. Being a full-time housewife is in different level. Like what mommy said, that if your partner can afford it, even pay you, how beautiful would that be? To do, I mean, I've got so many things in my head, and I have a man who pay me salary, and I have time to do a lot of things, to do some creative work, and to be there. I'll even have more time to spend on the media, doing the talk show I'm doing, do more research and all that, and still do the normal duties in the house. Now, whether you work or you don't work, you do the chores in the house. Whether your partner helps you with the chores or not, that's a plus. If you're an African woman, especially, like somebody always say, don't forget where you're coming from. Emu, I'm still waiting for you when you are ready.
Yeah, I'm ready now.
All right, then.
Sorry. Yeah, I had a little network glitch. Good evening, everyone. This is a very important topic, and I'm happy you thought it out to talk about this. When we talk about women being housewives, I think there are a lot of misconceptions to it. I want to take us back to the virtuous woman.
Okay.
If you read the story of the virtuous woman, you see that there's a part that talked about her having maidens. Women have to understand that they are home managers. Home managers in the sense that you have to supervise and monitor everything that happens in your home. It doesn't mean that you must directly do those things.
That you must be what?
You must be directly involved in carrying out those activities. Because that is where I have a problem with. I see some women, especially in our Nigerian context, some men will say, okay, you are a full-time housewife, you have to wash all the clothes, you have to clean the house, our mothers did that. But where are they today? Most of our mothers that are still alive are battling with one ailment or the other because of what they went through day in, day out, every day for so many years. Thank God for technology. Thank God for exposure. Thank God for advancements. I'm glad that you are on the other side of the globe. And most of these things are easier. You have dishwashers, you have washing machines,
We have electricity even.
You have electricity. It would be funny to hear a man tell the wife that I would rather you pound my yam with a pounder,
Water.
it tastes better than using than preparing the powdered one. Or I'd rather you wash my clothes with your hands. It's cleaner than washing with washing machine. I mean, what are we talking about? I've had men who will tell their wives, I prefer it when you grind the pepper with your hands on stone. That is when it is. I mean, we are humans too. We are people. Women have to understand their worth. They have to know their self-worth when they are coming into a relationship. You have to understand that you don't need to lose your identity as a woman, even when you are going to be a housewife. The scenario of a housewife that I love is the housewife that, like you have rightly said, understand our worth. You talked about a woman that is on YouTube, that does a lot of other things, she studies, and that's beautiful. That's a good example of a housewife. You understand? Not somebody that will just be on morning to night, washing, cooking, cleaning. Your life does not, it doesn't depend on all that. There was
it's much more than that.
It's much more than that. It shouldn't amount to all that. I was at the funeral, and the man was just wailing, who will pound jam for me? Oh, my wife has gone. Who will do this? And I was like, is that all the woman meant to this man? Do you understand? Women need to grow out of where they are now and picture themselves in the next 10 years. If my children want to talk about me, what are they going to say about me? Are they going to only see me as a keeper at home? There's nothing wrong with that, though. But I should also bring something to the table. I should bring intelligence to the table. I should bring creativity I should bring innovation. My children should have issues at work, and they should be able to come and meet me because they know that, oh, my mom will give me sound managerial skills, advice that I can use to combat at work. Not that they will be looking for someone else because all they see their mom do is cook, clean, and wash. So we need to be more because of our children. We are women. They say train up a girl child, and she will train nations and generations. So why do we leave all this training and dump it in the kitchen? It is only in our minds that we end up in the kitchen. So when you talk about women being housewives, I would desire that women should understand that being housewife. Okay, now I love cooking. I come home, I cook because I enjoy it. I love it. I love washing my stuffs, especially my underlings. I do it. I enjoy it. But doing it because I want to become a 1,000 yard, 100 yard wife material, I don't think that is what it should amount to. I should do it because I, as an individual, I enjoy doing it. I'm not under compulsion to do it. If my husband wants me to wash his clothes, he should appreciate me for doing it. Not that it is because you are my wife, you have to wash my clothes. No, that is not the deal. So we need to differentiate it. We are homemakers, we are home builders. Fantastic. But then we need to draw the line. The virtuous woman had maidens. She sent people on errands. The most important thing is that the home front is well managed. Get people to wash. You must not wash yourself. Get people to come and clean up the house for you. Have your me time. If you really want to do all the chores at home, at the end of the day, in the night, you will still get to the bed and do the other duties. Come on.
Thank you very much.
Tomorrow, you say, where is how many women are agile at their old age? God will allow us to be strong and healthy.
Amen.
To enjoy our old age and say, Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, my beautiful Ebony sister. Thank you. She said a lot, so I'm going to pick from there. One word I'm picking is this: home managers. Now, I'm looking at what's the word now? The duties of a manager, okay, which is motivating employees to increase sale. So as a manager in the home, if you're a full-time housewife, you also need to motivate your husband in his business, which some of the things Emo has mentioned. Motivate your family, motivate your children in their studies, in their business, and whatever. Now, being able, even when they consult you for problem, you must be able to be there, maintaining budget and cost. That's the duties of managers. So even the money your husband brings home, you have to be a good manager of it, a good planner of it. Oh, my dear, I have this business idea, or I have that. What do you think? What if we do it this way? Bringing suggestions, positive suggestions, making research on their behalf. Your husband is doing a project, go online, do a research on his behalf, do research for your children, so that brings more value to you. Even though you are not bringing money to the family, but you are bringing much more. You are bringing more quality. So what am I saying with all this is this, that you are a full-time housewife. Do not relegate yourself to only the kitchen. You can bring much more. There's so much more you can bring. I mean, if as a manager, if you go through all the duties, you actually don't even, you need even to be paid salary on a serious note. If our husbands can afford it, you need to be paid salary. Now, some of the other duty of a manager is this: addressing customer queries, feedback, and complaints. So whichever challenges comes to the family, as a homemaker, as a home manager, you are there to tackle them. Conducting stock inventory, food come in, food go out, by date, which one is going to expire first before the new one that comes in. How is the food eaten in the house? Does everybody eat anyhow and then the food runs out even before the month end? There's no food and no money, and the husband is like, what's happening to all the food in this house? Managing stock as they come in and as they go out. Who is doing the shopping? What is needed and what is not needed in the family? Making decisions based on customer feedback. What are the feedback you're getting from your husband or from your children? Or even learning as you educate yourself. For instance, listening to programs like this, you're picking feedback, you're evaluating yourself, and you're developing your home. And analyzing sales figure, which is about evaluating. Other duty is collaborating with human resources to create accurate sales professional job description. Okay, that is the duties of managers. So bringing all that into your home, wow, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. Being able to manage the husband, manage the children, and all that. Okay. Now, the reason why it is important for you not to be just kitchen and duties, like my sister is hammering on, and I'm also breaking down, is also so that you have value to yourself and your husband also values you. Before your husband married you, you were at a certain level. And when he marries you and all you now do is just like house help in the house, he loses that interest before you know it. With time, that interest diminishes. He's coming home, he's just like, is my food ready? Then go to bed. Nothing. Even the news of what is happening in society, do you even know what's happening? Are you discussing that with your partner? Are you his best friend? He brings a problem, you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how I can help you. But if you are even ahead of him and it's like, yes, he's looking forward to discuss his challenges, his problems with you. How beautiful would that be? How beautiful would that be? You don't want to be a housewife like another lady experience I read that we've seen it in, I think mostly in movies, and it happens in real life. And there was a true life story I read, was it last week, of a lady who was maltreated. She lost value, respect, dignity before the husband because she was a full-time housewife. And she's frustrated, she's always crying, because she doesn't bring any money to the home. But you may not bring money to the home. You can bring much more. But if for any reason your husband is complaining about finance, then there has to be an agreement for you to get back to the workforce. Getting back to the workforce so that you also can contribute your quota. And in do that, there's more income. And then the family also will be what? Happier. And then we're also talking about income. It depends on the structure of your family, especially for instance, in UK, you know, you also have to look at until your child is 10 years old, there's little work you can do. There's little you can do. You still have to come back home and do school runs and all that. So even if you're just doing 4 hours in a day, even for just 3 days, and then you have 4 days, you are at home full time. But those 3 days, you know, it brings a lot of hair. It brings a lot of life into you, into the family. And you're also bringing, you know, even if it's that tiny money you bring in, if that money only deals with, what is it called now? Brings breakfast, constant breakfast into the family. It goes a long way. It brings a lot of relief to your partner. I'm going to read more comment from Facebook from Mommy El Betel. Disrespect, that is one of the disadvantages that comes with being a full-time housewife, but then it's not for everybody. Some people get disrespected, why some are more valued. But then you need to find out why is one full-time housewife more valued than you? Why are you being disvalued? Why are you not appreciated? Find the core reason before you blame whoever is abusing you. Find the core reason why this is happening. Disrespect, she might at some point be disrespected by the husband when there is financial crisis in the home. Unlike the working class lady, they earn respect from their husband and family because she also pays the bill too, which is true 100%. It shouldn't always be that way. That's why I said earlier on in the beginning, understand your partner. If your partner is somebody you can sense, if I don't bring money, this man is going to begin to behave somehow, then borrow yourself some sense, like 100% sense, and get something doing. Contributing to the society, since she's chasing her dreams, she accomplished things which adds positivity to the society. I mean, which man will not be proud of the woman? Oh, my wife is there, she's the bank manager there, or she's, even if it's on social media, and all she's doing on social media is that she's even making money or making impact, your husband will be proud of you. She's a school teacher, she's doing something. Okay, understand your partner. And then conclusively, okay, another thing is, Mommy Elbeta says, please note, nevertheless, being a working class lady doesn't mean that you can't also take care of your family well. In all your decisions for your life and family remains paramount, whether you are in full-time housewife or a working class lady. What we need mostly is wisdom. Wisdom is key. That's what Mommy says. Thank you very much. Wisdom is the principal thing. And the Bible says, in all things, get understanding. Now, what are we saying here? In wisdom, in understanding, in knowledge, you want to know yourself, you want to know your partner, you want to know what works for you best. For a person, I cannot be a full-time housewife. Depression and everything will set in. Even though, I mean, another thing I do is this, I do flexible jobs. So I can decide for 1 week I'm not working. I want to do things in the house. I want to concentrate more with my children, or I want to tidy the house. I want to do whatever I want to do. My time, my space. Or I even want to do holiday. My time, my space. And then for another 3 weeks, I'm there working. Bum, 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 bum. And then I take it off again. Flexibility. Find out what works for you. Find out what works for you. But in all finding, give yourself value. You want a man to respect you. This is the truth. What are you bringing to the table? And when we talk about what are you bringing to the table, It is not only money. Since we've been talking, I think money has not been the point. Value. What are your managerial skills? If you do not have enough of them, you can tutor yourself online. Do research. Internet is, well, it depends on where you are, the part of the country you are. For we here, internet is like, although we pay for it, but we have surplus of it. Do research, spend money, save up, spend money, do research on managerial skills, cooking skills, develop yourself. Anybody else wants to speak? Any hands up? Thank you all for joining on Facebook. Facebook people are complaining that since I started WhatsApp, I am not appreciating them. I see all of you. Let me begin to mention them now before I forget. But Alanre, Fatogun. I mentioned all your name. Thank you for joining, sir. Mommy Elbetel, always on board. God bless you, really good man. Thank you so much. Who else do I have there? Sister Mojisola, Maami. Thank you for joining, ma. She's coming up next week, I believe. Next week, we're looking at different type of marriages. And she is going to be on fire next week, Thursday. Who again do I have on Facebook? But me, but Ake Olaomi, thanks for joining, my sister Betty. Thanks for joining. Prophetess Elizabeth Bola, thanks for joining, ma. Mr. Lanre, my own very, very Lanre Adeniji, thanks for joining. Oba Ade, troublemaker, thanks for joining, sir. The only Akim Moshood. God bless you, really good. Please let us share. Anybody else want to say anything more concerning being a full-time housewife? Yeah, mommy is agreeing with me here that I think it's good to find out what works for you as individual. What works for the goose may not always work for the gander, which is true. Sister Betty, do you have a word for the house? She has a wave for the house. Thanks for the wave. Somebody is just joining. I'm waiting for him. No network wahala. Big Chief is on board. I know he has different, the way he sees things, his view of things are very unique. Big Chief, are you on board, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
We're looking at being a full-time housewife, the pros and the cons of it. Although it's for different people, different things work for different people. What's your take on it, sir?
A full-time housewife is the biggest job in the world. There's no job bigger than that. It's bigger than the president. You're responsible for the next generation. You understand? If you want to destroy the next generation, you can destroy it. It's in your hands. But there's economic reasons too. There are certain people who don't have economic power, so the man and the woman have to work. If the man and the woman have to work, they pay a price. Personally, me, I like a woman to work, not to use the money for anything. Just let her head, the oil be in her head. Even if the money is big or the money is small, I don't mind. But because she's a human being, let oil be in her head. Let her be interacting with other people. Let her have situations. Let her have problems she's solving. She's a human being. The job is bigger than that of raising the next generation. I worked with an American that is James Bailey V. They have been passing over wealth and inheritance since over 200 years. It's hard work to do that, to even pass over inheritance. Now, a lot of us Africans don't even know how to pass. Maybe the only inheritance we want to pass is house.
Land.
Land. Even uncle is waiting to fight with the children for the land. Most people don't understand how to do a handover from father to son. So the son doesn't even know what is expected of him to carry on the generation. So those things, you have to pass it to the wife. Because they call it, there's a reason why they call it the mother tongue, because it's the woman that is associating with the children. Now, the father is always outside working or disappearing and trying to bring things to the house. He cannot be in the house and provide at the same time. So somebody has to be with them. And the person that has to be with them has to carry the philosophy which the man has.
The same goal, the same vision, and the idea.
Which they speak together, but most times the man has to come up with that because she is the helper. They are not partners, they're not 50-50. In over 7,000 years of the world existing, there has never been 50-50. It's European ideas. Now that is confusing the man and the woman. The woman will say, why am I a housewife? So she doesn't know her role also. Now, men respect what is above them, they protect what is under them and fight everything on their level. And you tell him 50-50, you're on his level now. Once it's 50-50, you're of no use.
How come, sir? If you are 50-50, what's the problem with that?
It's a huge problem, except you have another culture, another. If you look from Islam, Christian, Judaism, Hinduism, history, it is not, if it is 50-50, before you marry the man, tell the man it's 50-50. Don't marry him that is the pilot on this plane. Then he enter co-pilot and pilot is fighting, the turbulence is outside. Children are saying that they will wear seatbelt in the plane. You confuse the man. You understand? And a confused man cannot lead anybody.
Sorry, sir. Let's expand that place a little bit more. I think we still have a few more minutes. When we talk about 50-50, it depends on the angle you are looking at it from. I'm looking at it from another angle. Now, when we say 50-50, or let me put it this way as a question. Are we saying 50-50 in the sense that there's a contention and of role or duty, and there's pride that because I'm working, you two are working, or because they are making money, me too are making money? Or is it 50-50 in the sense that we are all contributing to this family?
It's not even about working or who has more money. If you enter a car today, I believe you drive. It's only the person that must drive that car. If you enter a plane, there must be a pilot and there could be co-pilots. Even if you two have the same qualification, it's only one that will be pilot. Every establishment in the world has the same thing. Only inside marriage that there's no head. If you go to school, secondary school in Africa, there is principal, there is vice principal, there is vice academic. Then when you go there, you have form teacher, you have class monitor, assistant monitor. There is always an hierarchy. If anything that has two heads is a monster. If you read Genesis 3, read it 10 times. Some of these questions will not even ask it.
Now, what I understand what you're saying, and I'm not contending that, but I'm trying to break it down a bit more for more audience to understand this. So are we talking about authority? I believe that's what you are talking about now. Who has the authority in the family?
Maybe authority or direction, whichever way you put it.
Okay, yeah, it's whoever has the authority is one that directs. The pilot is one that directs that, okay, this is where this family is going and all that. Yeah. And then the co-pilot is able to discuss, okay, it's a good idea, but what if we also do it this way and all the blah, blah, blah. But in the context of today, which is on being a full-time housewife, or you are even a working woman and you also do your duties as the woman, is there no way there's a 50-50 in it? You're working, your partner is working, your partner helps in the house, you also do your duties in the house. Is that not 50-50?
I wish I can zoom my neighbor now. I'm in my car. My neighbor there, I'm seeing a man. My neighbor is washing plates in the sink there. Europe has made us make adjustments because you cannot look at the woman do all the work in the house. You must put your body in there. If you love her, you put your body in there. You must assist because she cannot. But if you're in Africa, you might have 2 or 3 maids. You can be changing the maid every week. Here you are assisting, you're cooking, you're doing everything. But when it comes to that direction of the family, the man is not just a man, he's not a human being. He's the priest of the house. You understand? So now is modernization that is making us forget. Esau and Jacob. The woman loved Jacob. The man loved Esau. That's a story for another day. If the woman thinks that she has the blessing, she would have blessed Jacob. She won't let him to go and be deceiving the father and be cooking. So why is the Esau even cooking for the father? What is wrong with his wife that it's only going to deceive him that she has to cook for him? You understand? Some things, most men don't say things because they want to stabilize the ship or stabilize the plane. That's why they keep quiet. When I was growing up, I know that all this, my father and my uncles, they don't even talk. But when you see them in the beer parlor, they're talking. When they come home, why is daddy not talking in the house? You don't have the capacity to understand what he's supposed to say. You know, if it's the
How do
direction.
we also deal with the issue of men who abuse their wives that are full-time housewives? What is your take on that? And how do you advise men to change their mentality on that?
You call abuse is like a fish and a monkey. You cannot judge the monkey that he cannot swim, and you cannot judge a fish that he cannot climb. Women abuse men even more because it's not physical, you don't see it.
I know I'm talking on relating to, because you're not working, you're not bringing money into the house. You know, there's a lot of abuse that go on that. We know all the general, but I want us to narrow it on the topic.
Okay, I think we wrestle not against flesh and blood. You're comparing flesh and blood to what is happening. I can make you and your husband have a quarrel. It's simple. If I have the power, I reduce his earning. When I reduce his earning, the man is frustrated. Whenever he goes outside, he's coming back with less, and we're putting pressure on him in the workplace. He comes home, he see you, you're expecting that affection from him. He needs affection because he's bruised outside. You understand? Now, because he's bruised outside, he's not making enough money. And I've not separated him from you, but because I pay him less, he's outside working more. I've taken the man out of the family. The woman is complaining, I'm not seeing my man. The man is going outside, is not bringing enough money. Before you know, you will start arguing. Abuse will come into play. Now, as I believe nearly all of us here are Africans, as Africans, we pay attention to this. Oh, the man did this to me. The pressure the man has seen outside is more than what you're even saying inside. It's just like there's a dog coming in to bite us. No matter what we do, the dog will enter our house. So as the father of the house, I put my hand outside for the dog to bite. So as the dog is biting me, that hand that is biting is what is stopping the dog from entering the house. When I look inside the house people are supposed to be petting me. Yes. Now me that is injured is petting the house again. Don't you see that there's a problem? And the man looks at you, you don't understand, I'm hurt. This dog is biting me here. I'll bring it to humans, to the present day. I've done security before. I've seen boys with PhD, smart boys doing security just for their family to feed. They go and take the humiliation and they come home and the children don't, let me not even call the wife. The children don't even understand what the father has gone through.
The sacrifice.
Yes. So most people don't even know who their father is till he dies. They say, hey, this is doing this for me. But he has gone. You can't meet him again. Before these conversations come to play, we should understand what a man is and what a woman is. If not, we will argue forever. If the woman wants to be a man in the house, tell the man from the beginning, I'm the man in the house. The man will keep quiet and stand back. If the man disagrees, he will say, no, this is my altar. I'm the priest here. There can't be two priests in one community. Chief priest is one. The pastor in the church is one. You can have assistant pastors. Two of them cannot be. These days, even in church, the mommy and the daddy, nobody knows the difference. Mommy is talking on this side.
Thank you so much. That was very insightful, and you went a bit up, down, and expanded the topic a bit more.
Topic is big. It's not topic. This topic needs some brandy and elders by a fellow council of chiefs. They sit down and do this thing. You understand?
Well, as God will have it, we have the council of chiefs on this topic tonight, and we can only do the best we can do on it. And which is one of the things I was saying before you joined. and I think one or two other people agreed with me that even though you are a full-time housewife, you need to add value to yourself.
Oh, definitely. Most definitely. In short, the economy is telling you that you cannot be full-time housewife, because if you're working, you're paying tax to the government makes more money working. I need to send you one message. Then the Rockefellers who organize the school system, make a conveyor belt for our children is just like products. Like I said, that in Amazon warehouse, conveyor belt. When they kick the man and the woman out of the house to work, the children, they send them to the conveyor belt, the school, and they bring out the children as robots, machine, just to work in the factories. So they're programming the next generation. Whereas we are inside arguing who will stay in the house and who will not stay in the house. It's either the man or the woman, somebody has to stay in the house and see those children.
It is important because I remember one or two times, I missed my son's activity in school, my first son. And I was so apologetic. He said, "Oh, don't worry, mommy, I understand." But a few years after, down to a conversation or something, and it's like, "Oh, mommy, you are not there for me." I'm like, "Oh, wow."
Well, leave those children that say you're not there for you. Send them to Africa. They will know that you're there for
So I'm like, 1 minute you're like, you understand. But deep down, they feel that presence. But because why? I had to go work. So how beautiful would it have been that as mothers, we're able to spend more time with our children? It's a beautiful thing. Yes. if daddy cannot be there, mommy should at least be there. Sir?
There is no job in the world. There is no job in the world bigger than the mother and the child combining. Yeah. It's okay, Benny. You okay? Tobra?
But there are times that you would even be there and your presence is useless when you can't solve any problem, which is why it is important for mothers, women, to really add value to their lives, so that you are not just there as a figurehead.
They need to step up
as a force in their life. But if you are there and you can't solve any problem, you can't attend to any issues, then what is your being there amounting to? The same child that say, "Oh, mommy, you are not there for me," we tell you that, "Mommy, why are you even here?" So we just have to get the right balance and set the right boundaries.
Wow, that's another one. That's a big one. "Mommy, why are you even here?" Wow. Nobody wants to hear their child say that to them, and that is why we are nurturing every woman out there who can hear this message at one point or the other in their life to step on it, step up your game, as a woman, step up your game as a wife, step up your game as a mother. Like Big Chief was saying, it's all about the next generation. So what input are we putting in their lives? At the end of the day, we can only do our best. But then in your best, what are the qualities in your best? What are the magi and the iru and the ingredients in your best? At the time when we are nurturing and we are teaching, it might seem like we're not doing nothing or we're not teaching. We were all children at some point, and at some point in my life, I think I said something silly like that to my dad, like what's the word? I can't remember the right word I used, but it was in the line of, "I did not take anything from you." And my daddy laughed at me. And then he said, "Everything you are is an embodiment of what you have picked up from me, either directly or indirectly, either by verbally or by watching, but one way or the other, we have picked from them, from their teachings, from the way they behave, from the things they've shown us, from the teachings even we hear from Sunday school, things we see in the community, all combined together made us." And so the same thing, what our children are see us do, and all that, our children are picking them, either positively or negatively. I see my first son now doing like 3-4 things together. Why? Because that's what he sees me do. I don't do one business. I don't do one thing. My hand is everywhere. And I keep telling him, you cannot have one stream of income. You cannot. And he's already doing that. I'm seeing him doing that. You don't have to open a child's head. When you're saying it, they're also seeing you doing it. Practicality. And they are picking it along the way. And they're also looking at the society. What did my mommy say? What did my daddy say? Comparing it to what is happening in the society. Believe me, you think their children and their dollar, they are smart. Not even this generation we are in. They are very smart. So you need to up your game. You need to know what is happening there. Sometimes I pick up snacks from my kids, and when they're in the conversation, I just throw you. I'm like, mom, don't even use that word. I said, we people use it. Why can't I use it? Didn't I get it right? Yeah, you got it right, but mom, stop. You know, you need to be able to blend into them, break the words, and then know what is happening. You want to educate them on something you don't know, get somebody that knows it to teach them. When I was trying to convince my son about which course to do in uni, and I didn't know how far to go because I didn't go to uni in this country. So I'm a bit novice on that side. So I got people who went to uni in here. I got people who are working in the field where I want him to school, where I want him to learn. I got them to teach him, to educate him. I got like 5 people. In between 5 years or 6 years, 5 people were hammering, teaching, educating him, and in giving information, you know. And sometimes his attitude is like, whatever. But at the end of the day, he's doing exactly what he has picked up from all those learning, from all those encouragement, from all those teaching. So if you do not know, okay, as a parent, as a mother especially, get somebody that knows. Get that uncle in the church or that uncle in the family, even a professional that you know. Get them, get a phone number, connect them, let them teach, educate. We are all limited at one point or the other. So if you do not know, please get somebody that knows. I also learned this from someone. I was doing it bit by bit, but when I learned it from someone, then I'm like, okay, I'm on the right track. I started doing it even more. I went to a birthday party and the woman was like, my son is his parent, I'm the mom, but the community is my son's parent. Meaning that at every point in time where she needed help, she got the community involved in the son's life. Okay, so let's get the community involved. Let's not wait and wait and wait for the community to come to us. Go to the community, get the community to get involved in your child's life. Be proactive, be smart. All right. So I think we've been able to do justice to tonight's topic. If there's no contribution or addition on Facebook or on Zoom. So in a nutshell, what have we said tonight is that to be a full-time housewife, it's not a crime, it's a beautiful thing. And even if we all can be, how beautiful would it have been? But then because of the community today, because of what is happening in the society today, because of financial constraint, you know, we need to work. But I mean, gone are those days when, I mean, how do I put it? I think, was it not my husband that was saying this yesterday? That the 21st century is more expensive. The century we are now is more expensive than those days. Those days, things were cheaper, more economical. They were not sophisticated, but we were content. We were happy with the little we had. But now I want to buy smart TV, smart wristwatch, smartphone, smart washing machine. You know, I've been to a house one day to work, and they were controlling everything in the house with their voice. Siri, turn on the TV. Siri, turn off the light. Siri, turn off the corridor lights. I'm like, where am I? And to have such technology is money. And then, I like it. I want that in my home too. So you need to work harder to get them. Technology is not cheap. It's expensive. But if you're able to curtail what you have, if you're able to manage your resources well and spend more time with your family, how beautiful is that? How lovely is that? If you can, please do. Like Big Chief said, it's all about the next generation. What are we inputting in them? If you can, please do. Big Chief says, I beg to join my family. You're welcome, sir. Please, Big Chief, before you go, can I take your WhatsApp number, please? If you can send it to me privately. Thank you so much. I've got Samal is gone, but she's been on for so long, even before we started. And Mommy Nunoyon, God bless you, really good, man. She's been on since 8 o'clock, even though we started 8:30. Thank you all for joining. Emo, you were on tonight, and bless you, my portable ebony. See you soon in Ibadan. Thanks for joining. My beautiful
It was my
sister.
pleasure. I'm happy I could make it this time around.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My love to the family. Sister Betty, thanks for being there. Who else is there? Big Chief, big kudos to you, sir. On Facebook, thank you all. Despon, Digital Marketing, Sister Christine, thank you for joining. My prophetess, Bola Williams, thank you, man. She says, well done. Powerful topic. Who else have I not mentioned? For who I have not mentioned, please pardon me. And for as much that will be joining later, please let us share the program. Let's bless somebody. Perhaps there's a woman or a man you've been trying to talk to and you don't know how to go about it. You don't want to sound like you are being nosy and all that. Just share the program with them. Let them listen to it themselves and they'll pick one or two things and I believe it will minister to someone. Until we meet again on Thursday, 8:30 p.m. to accommodate more people. It's a good night from me, from Ekene Adeniji. Good night and God bless.